And one of the most, in my opinions, devastating cases happened a few years back when Angela Dempsey ruled against the adoption of a legally married gay couple of their biological child. And we have Jessica here to talk to us a little bit about what exactly happened with that case.
So my wife and I were married in DC back in 2010 when it was not legal throughout the country. So we had our daughter in 2011 and brought our case before Judge Dempsey in 2013. So the point of this was to basically give our child legal access to a second adult. I had, conceived this child with my wife. We had at every point intended this baby to come into being together. And she had never known any other parent than me and my wife. So we brought this, what we thought was a airtight case, right? We're legally married. We have a insemination agreement with a donor. We, brought our home study with a social worker who declared our home safe and showed all of our character witnesses and employment records. We went through a financial audit. We even went through physicals, just like as if my wife was a legal stranger, to provide the preponderance of evidence that this was just in the best interest of our daughter in every way. So this is before marriage equality nationally and before a lot of key cases in LGBT rights were all being heard in different places, and judges were very reticent to put themselves out there. Other same-sex couples had already been given parent rights in Leon County. This was not going to be a major precedent setter. It's a private adoption. We covered our bases and then got the denial from Judge Dempsey, not because our child wasn't in a safe home, not because my wife wasn't a perfectly fit parent in every way, but because she had disapproved of our marriage in the first place as grounds to expect rights from the court, which was over and beyond what was necessary in the judge's ruling. But to go so far as in her ruling to condemn our marriage, which was legal and happened in our nation's capital, seemed like such an overstep from her. This was so important at the time that ACLU and the Human Rights Campaign and Equality Florida and all these people wanted to get on a phone call with us to tell us not to appeal because the risk to other people could be so terrible if we lost. I believe in law. I work for the government. I believe that I'll get fair treatment. I have all this evidence. I have all of this case. And I have precedent. There's other cases that have already been decided for same-sex parents. This is open and closed. This is not an issue. And it was an issue. It was an issue for her personally, and she made it absolutely clear she was fine bringing her personal beliefs into a courtroom despite the best interests of a child, despite the legal standing of the adults, and despite my right to get a fair court in Leon County, the county I live in.
And I do think that this case and the way you and your wife approached it really did help. So I thank you.
I can recall one time in my whole adult life where I have begged anyone about anything. And I called her as a woman and as a mother, and I begged for my baby, and she wouldn't even return a phone call. The only facts that have bearing on an adoption of a child is what is in the best interest of the child. So that was the risk that she posed to us, was that, because she refused to look at the facts of the matter, which is that in a second parent adoption, what matters is the well-being of the baby and not whether or not you approve of the marriage, right? That was where she kind of went off the rails on it. I'm really proud of my little almost 9-year-old girl. She's a Girl Scout and a straight A student, and she loves her two moms and is in a very happy home. And it's been kind of my proof is in the pudding for the spokes child for the stable upbringing she's enjoyed despite all this. So victories in the spoils, right? But let's also see to it that nobody else can get hurt by this person again.
And
So it's-
everybody after you is hurt less because of what you went through. So
Ah,
in my book, you're a hero because